Hi, I'm Ray Scheidler, X-Rite's Printing and Packaging Portfolio Manager, which really means I look out into the future of the products we need in consultation with all of our teams and our customers. So in the case here, we have the eXact 2. The eXact 2 is a whole new generation of hardware with lots of new features. But to get to those features, we had to talk to a lot of people. We integrated with our hardware teams, our software teams, our whole firmware development teams, and also with folks like our internet folks who, this instrument is unique in that it's truly internet capable. And we built lots of test units. We built, dozens of units that went out to our customers, which is really our biggest team of all, hearing from our customers. Our customers had some pain points, right? They had issues with ergonomics, issues with targeting, problems with where is the right spot that they're measuring. And then the question was, how do I use it? Was it a little too complex to use for some users? And then some additional features depending on what your role in the workflow is, whether you're doing press work or whether you're doing ink. All of those customers fed back information that led to improvements on the eXact. And so the eXact 2 has video targeting. This Mantis video targeting is unique, and it provides features so that you can always see what you're measuring, and it's never obscured with any piece of the instrument. As well as that video targeting provides a new feature, which is the digital loop. So you can also zoom in and look at anything that you're measuring, or look at something like a registration bar, and understand whether it's an issue with some hickey in the print, or whether you're in register. To provide all of this kind of functionality, we did something else, right? We built a much larger screen. It's 30% larger screen, which provides for lots of feedback information, as well as the ability to go see that visual targeting. And then to design to that issue of, is it too complex to use? The real goal in this instrument is you're 2 clicks away from whatever information you need. You've either got it right then, or you only have to click a couple times to get to where you want to go. So the real nice thing too is in typical press work, your press sheet is often dry, but not always. Depending on the kind of work you do, you may have something that's wet, or if you're doing an ink drawdown. And so this instrument is non-contact, so it never hits the area that you're measuring in a way that can affect it. And as I mentioned before, it has an internet connectivity, right? So this allows for centralized data management and feedback about the condition of the fleet of instruments as well. So that kind of thing, plus the fact that now we can measure faster, really provides a lot of benefits. So let's look at what those are a little bit closer. So now let me demonstrate some of the features we just talked about. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the new docking station that comes as part of the eXact 2 kit. This docking station is really different. It includes wireless charging. It has a protected calibration plaque that is only revealed when the instrument is sitting on the calibration station. This allows it to be protected from all of the environment in the normal press room. And you'll see also there's a barcode here. This barcode is read by the eXact 2, any eXact 2, to know the exact calibration values. So that means that any eXact 2 can be used with any of the eXact 2 docking stations and calibrate. So now I want to talk to you about video targeting powered by Mantis. This is really revolutionary, and you'll get to see why we went to this technology when I give you this demonstration. So what you can see is when I go in here and I want to measure the cyan patch on here, I can see exactly where it is. I know exactly where on the patch I'm measuring. And when I press the measure button, we'll see that I get a number of different things. I still see where I measured. I can see how it compares to my standard. In here, there's the standard, and I can scroll over just with one touch, and there I go, I have the absolute data as well. So that's the power. Everything is there. You get exactly what you need. The control is in the center of your hands. So let me tell you about some more advantages of the Mantis system. In addition to that precise targeting, you can use the instrument as a digital loop. So let me show you that feature. So I can move the instrument from measurement mode to digital loop mode with a single push of the button, and then I can go in here, find the thing I want here. There we go, there's my registration mark. Push a button, and I get a picture of it right up. And so this is at 1x, but you see we can make this higher. We can scroll around to areas of interest. We can actually do this more and even more. So we have up to 10x zoom to see precisely what it is you want to take a look at. And again, The whole thing is embodied in one tool in your hand when you need to use it. So now let me tell you about a feature that we implemented specifically for Flexo Film. We know Flexo is a challenge to print, and it's sometimes a challenge to measure as well. So we included a feature in the eXact 2 called the media flattener. First, let me get some sample materials out. First, we'll get a nice clean backer, and then we'll get some flexible film. And you can see by its nature that it's not necessarily going to lay flat when you need to measure. Put this over the backer, get this ready to measure, and we can still see that there's some little bit of unevenness going in there. So when you flip the instrument over, you can see that we have a tool here called the media flattener. And the media flattener allows it to press down on that material and take the measurement just the way you want to. So another feature of the eXact 2 is integrated scanning. So there's a couple of things that enable that. First of all, the eXact 2, if you turn it upside down, you can see it has wheels here that are available for scanning at any time. There's also a brake on this other side that will stop those wheels from moving or enable them to roll free. So now let's go see scanning. So I've got scanning up on my menu, and I can see again exactly where I'm measuring. And I can also see with the bars on there exactly where I'm going to go. So I start the process, and it will give me feedback whether I'm going fast enough, and then I can scan. And we can see I had a successful scan. It's calculating all the data behind all those patches, and it's bringing those up, and we can see now we've got the data we need all in a simple scan. So another feature that the integrated scanning has, or even for spot measurement, is because the instrument is built as a non-contact instrument, it particularly makes it useful for things where you might have a wet sample. So an obvious example for this is an ink drawdown. So let me give you an example. So you can see here an ink drawdown and the spacing of the wheels on the eXact 2. I can easily put this over this. We can see exactly where I'm measuring on here, but I'm not contacting the sample. So this gives me the ability to measure without affecting that ink drawdown. So the eXact 2 was not designed as hardware alone. It was really designed as a much larger ecosystem. The first thing you'll see is the new enhanced eXact suite. The eXact suite pulls together a number of tools that were separate, as well as adding new and additional functionality that was never there before. So that's your first entree into the X-Rite ecosystem. But let's look at the greater ecosystem that's available to the eXact 2. So first, of course, is Pantone Live. Pantone Live is used in pre-media all of the time, and it's built into the eXact 2. And then ColorCert. ColorCert QC for the press room, and ColorCert scorecard server enable you can see the results directly on the screen of the eXact 2. You don't have to go to some other location. And that scorecard server also provides sales the information that they need to let their customers know that they're hitting exactly what they wanted. And then X-Rite Link. X-Rite Link is a view into all of the instruments in your organization. Whether you have 2 or you have 50, it allows you to look at each one of them, see if they're net profiled, see if they're in certification, see the version of firmware that's there, push additional configuration files. It really is a simple way to make sure that all of your instruments are in the condition that you expect them to be. And last but not least, of course, is the Ink Kitchen. So along with our IFS software, allowing you to formulate ink right the first time, you get the right results on press. So we just finished talking about the entire ecosystem for the eXact 2. Now let's drill down a little bit more, and you'll see ColorCert in action. It's running remotely on a computer, but it's also running directly on the instrument. So I'm going to go ahead in here and scan a bar. So we'll go over here, start on the paper patch, and we can see those lines telling us where we're going to scan to. Start the process. Beep tells us we had a successful scan. In just a second here, we'll see the information that tells us how we did. There we go. And so score says we're good, we can pass, we can keep running. So we've just talked about the ecosystem around the eXact 2, and now we have a chance to show you the X-Rite Link software. And X-Rite Link software shows the power of the internet-connected instrument along with a cloud-based software that lets you manage a full fleet of instruments. So on screen here, we can see that we're seeing both eXact 1s and eXact 2s, And on the quick way to check status of all those instruments just at a glance is with these quick icons down at the bottom. So this particular instrument I'm on, the warranty is current, certification is current, net profiler is current, but it doesn't look like the firmware is up to date, right? So that might mean that I want to roll that firmware out there. Well, notice that that's a feature that's available on the eXact 2, but not available on the eXact 1. You can't push firmware to the eXact 1 because it's not an internet-connected device, but we can do that on a connected device with the eXact 2. And that's another piece. You can see which instruments are actually connected and which instruments maybe are disconnected. So that's really, again, a feature that you get to see on the with the eXact 2 because it has that internet connection. So let's click on this one that even though it's disconnected, there's lots of information we can find on the instrument. So we look at this and we get a deeper dive into what's going on. So we have an idea now when the warranty expires, not just if it's in warranty, but when it would expire. Same thing with the service care plan, when it was last certified, additional information, anything inside of here. So, the fact that there's a library down here, all of this is useful information and it allows you to drive in to get more information on this instrument. Another thing that's really useful inside of in the Link software is the content manager. So we look at this and we can see that this particular instrument has a user profile in it. And the user profile I can select, and if that user profile is something that I want to have on all of the instruments in this particular location or across all of my locations, or maybe just for a certain customer type, I can select them however I need to, individually or click them all and then just send to the device. And then all of the instruments that I've asked to have that profile are updated. So it's a simple way to make sure that all your instruments are set up exactly the same way and that they are done the way that you need them to be done. So this is just one part of the power of X-Rite Link.